Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Draws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial, and for this video guys, we're gonna be drawing Hisuian Growlithe. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how it ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw it, then let's get started. I'm also gonna put up a reference right now on screen, that way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys can get all your details. Just keep in mind guys that we are gonna start off by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are gonna do your final drawing. So remember to do your line slide, and just like other tutorials, first we're gonna start off by doing a circle for the head, and the better that you guys make it, the easier it will be to follow the tutorial. And hopefully I pronounced the name right guys. Let me know in the comment section how you personally pronounce Hisuian or Hisu, the Hisu region. Alright, so right here we're just gonna split it in half both ways. Try to get it once again right in the middle. Once we have that guys, each part of the circle we're gonna split the line in half. So from the middle to the edge, right in the middle on each of the sides right here. This is gonna help us to do the details once we start doing inside of the circle. Alright, so now I'm using a spare piece of paper to measure the length of the circle guys. You guys can use a ruler, and we're gonna do a straight line going all the way down. So I do that little C just to show you guys that it's the length of the circle. Now right in the middle, from the bottom of the circle and the line that we did, we're gonna try to split that in the middle, and then we're gonna do another dot, another reference line right here, that's the length of the circle once again, but going to the left. Alright, so now that we have this, we're just gonna start by doing the body, so it doesn't reach all the way to that line that we did on the reference on the left side, and it's a little bit above half of the circle right there that we did for the line. Alright, so now we're gonna do this shape right here guys. This is just gonna be the legs, and just try to make the leg the thickness of the leg kind of even from the bottom to the top, although it does get a little bit thicker as it gets to the body. Now for the other one right here, connects right there to the top, and just try to make each leg the same thickness roughly. Right here I'm just using a spare piece of paper to kind of get an idea to see if they're the same thickness, and they're not perfect, but it's close to it. Alright, so now around here guys, we're gonna do the tail, so we're just gonna do the overall shape of it. There we go. And now we're gonna do one of the shapes right here. So now around half of that line right there that we did earlier, we're gonna do a reference line, and we're gonna do another one down here, and this is just gonna be to do those like puffs that he has in front of him. So it's gonna be a circle. You guys notice it reaches right there the side of the leg, and it goes a little bit to the left of that middle line that we did earlier. Now we're gonna do another circle. Obviously we're not able to see it fully since the first one is covering it, and then we add another one that's a little bit higher than the other ones and a little bit smaller since it is further away from us. So now we're gonna do that little line right there, the little loop. Now we're just gonna connect these two right here. It's gonna cover part of that leg right there, and another of those little loops over here on this side. Now that we have that, we could go in and erase some of these reference lines that are just gonna be in the way and confusing us. There we go, just cleaning up the sketch as I like to call it. Now we do those little loops right here on these as well. So right there I'm just showing you guys that it's almost like a full circle, or if it's easier for you guys to do it that way. But just look at the reference guys. Alright, so now for one of the claws right here, and just try to do the claws similar in size, although the ones on the right leg should be a little bit smaller, but right here I actually do them around the same size. Alright, so now to go up here to the head guys, we're gonna start by doing the hair that's around the eyes. Another one down here. So this is where those lines that we split the circle, this is where they come in handy. This is gonna be the top of the mouth. It goes down, and then we're actually right there in the middle of that part. This is where this line starts roughly, and then we could just connect it right there, and it makes like the snout. Now for the nose, erase the inside, that way we clean it up and it's not too confusing. Alright, so now for the mouth right here guys, we connect it around there. The tongue, clean it up. And there we go. I do change the tongue a little bit later on and the mouth, but I'll mention it once we get close to that part. Alright, so right here for the teeth. And it's a little bit messy, but like I said, I'll clean it up later. Alright, so right here, just connect the bottom jaw right there to the tongue. And now we could just connect the fur right there to that circle at the bottom. Now that we have that, we could start erasing some of those lines. And then just connect the other side right there. I kind of curved mine a little bit too much, but it doesn't really matter, guys. It doesn't have to be exactly like the reference. Now just clean up the sketch a little bit. Now we're gonna do this line right there that kind of goes parallel to the outside of the circle, and this is gonna be our ear. If you notice, it kind of the top of the ear is kind of the middle of the top part right there. Now for the other ear that sticks out around there, this one's more of a triangle shape. And then he also has this spike at the top. And we basically got our Growlithe, guys. Now it's just about adding details. For example, right there, the fur. This actually connects, but there's a line. It doesn't fully connect where the spike is. Right here on the left side, under the ear, we could curve that. And now it's just about cleaning up the drawing, guys. This is where I recommend looking at the reference and seeing like which lines are supposed to be there and which ones you guys could remove, and also which lines connect. Like I mentioned before, at the top of the spike right there on the head, it doesn't connect on the right side, the bottom right of the little spike on his head. So this is where I'm kind of messing around and making any changes. If something doesn't look right on my sketch, this is where I go and just make any changes necessary. But now for the stripes that he has on the back, we're going to start out by doing this one right here, which is a little to the left of that leg. And then we're just going to do another 2 lines, the same thickness that we did the first one. And then we could just do these 3, this little spiky pattern right here. And right here I color them in, that way they're not confusing. But if you guys notice, each stripe is roughly the same thickness and the same distance apart from each other. Now there's another one down here in the knee area. This one's a little bit smaller just because it is further away from us. Alright, there we go, guys. We got our sketch. So now just go over your sketch and make those changes necessary. If something doesn't look right, then go ahead and change it. Something that I changed on mine, like I mentioned before, was the snout. I didn't like how it connected to the tongue and the mouth, so I kind of changed it up a little bit, because if you guys look at the reference, it's a little bit further up from the tongue, and mine actually touches the tongue, so I do change that in just a little bit. There we go. I erase it and I take it away and I raise it a little higher, and then I think it looks a little bit better. But this is just the time to kind of go over your sketch, guys, and just make those changes necessary. If you guys could do something on your sketch to make it better, go ahead. Like I mentioned before, it doesn't have to look like mine, and it doesn't have to look like the reference, but overall I was happy with the way I had it here. So now I'm just outlining it to get my final outline, my final drawing. What I used to do was just completely erase the drawing, and then even though I erased it, I could still see some of those lines, and then I would just kind of clean it, you know, do cleaner lines and do the final outline of Growlithe, or my drawing, and a Growlithe in this case. But this time, you know, I like where everything was, so I just decided to outline it in pen since I was going to color this drawing. Alright, so I waited for it to dry. I realized that I forgot the bottom jaw right there, so I redo it. And then just keep in mind, guys, that if you guys are using a pen or anything like that, a marker to outline your drawing, wait for it to dry before you go in and erase it, because it's happened so many times to me where I smudge my lines. It just kind of ruins the whole drawing since yeah, it's not dry yet. And right here I'm just using my Prisma Premier color markers and my Copic markers to color him. And I'm not the best at coloring, guys. I'm really not. I'm trying, you know, I'm always learning. So please don't judge, you know, my coloring skills. I'm not that great, but here I'm just using like darker browns and trying to add some of the darker spots, the shading, I guess you would call it. and then I go in, I believe, with the darker brown on the stripes just to make them a little bit more darker. And then I'm just going over these areas with the same color once the marker dried. I just like going over it, that way, you know, it kind of adds another layer and it makes it a little bit darker. And then I noticed that the reference actually has kind of some color to the white, right, to the gray, to the shadows in the fur. So I decided to use this kind of like a aqua color, really light aqua color, and then I went over it with the gray, but I don't know if I'm running out of the marker or what it is, but I realized that it wasn't giving me like a full on solid color. So then I just used this darker one right here and kind of do like the darker shadows, and then I believe I'll go back with that blue again and kind of try to blend it in a little bit. So I did go in and use like a really light gray that I did have for the outside, and then I just kind of connect everything with the blue again and try to mix it up, even though it's not flawless, but it's still, you know, it's not too bad. And now I just go back and I use a white gel pen to add some highlights and clean up my drawing a little bit. I realized that I kind of went outside of the lines a little bit in some areas, and then right here I kind of smudged the paper. And then I decided to add the shadow here at the bottom, guys, but I ended up making it kind of like going up when it shouldn't. So that was my mistake right here. I shouldn't have made it go up. It should have been flat, you know, like a straight line, but mistakes are mistakes, guys. I'm just gonna call mine out. Hopefully you guys don't make the same one, but this is how it ends up looking like, guys. It's I mean, I think we got really close to the reference. I think we did an okay job. One of the things that I'm noticing now is that the tongue looks orange as well. It did not look like that in person on the paper. It's like a more of a like a lighter kind of like pinkish color, but for some reason I think it's just the effects that I added on the video that makes it look a little bit more orange and stuff like that, but it's not the same color, but it still doesn't look too bad. But yeah, guys, and this reference, just gonna give a shout out. I found it on Google. I just looked up Hisuian, or however you pronounce it, Growlithe, and I just looked at a bunch of different drawings, and this one was by the artist Q. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I kind of used their drawing as a reference, so this is fan art, guys, by the way. The reference is I thought it was an amazing drawing, and I kind of want to do like something different other than some of the tutorials that you find on YouTube right now of Hisuian Growlithe. So I wanted to do like something different, and I found that one. I was like, you know what, that's perfect. So shout out to the artist Q. Theirs, if you guys look it up, theirs has like a ball, like he's playing with the ball, and then the name is actually, the signature is like in the bottom right corner, but I decided to delete the ball and kind of erase a shadow that they had on them, and then I just moved the name up to the top. That way you guys would be able to see it and give the proper credit to the artist. But yeah, guys, so let me know in the comment section below how yours ended up looking like, and if you guys have any issues, you guys could always comment them below, and if I don't message you, then I'm pretty sure other people would be happy to help as well. Just remember, guys, that you guys could always send in your drawings to be featured at the beginning of my tutorials, Pokemon drawing tutorials, like the ones you saw at the beginning of this one, by sending them in to my email. The links are in the description. The best place to do that, I believe, would be my Discord. I think it's like one of the top links that you will see once you go into my description. Just go on there, join it. It's recent, and there's a page right there, kind of like a tab for art. You could just share them there. There's plenty of people who have been sharing their drawings on there, and that's where would be the best place for me to see them. So let me know in the comment section below how you guys ended up liking the tutorial, but don't forget to leave a like, guys, and to subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.